I hope that today you are not in need of a pick-me-up psalm, because you definitely haven't got one. Are you ready for this? This is Psalm 58, and this is uncomfortable. Do you indeed decree what is right, you gods, or you rulers, depending on the translation? Do you judge the children of man uprightly? No. In your hearts you devise wrongs. Your hands deal out violence on earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray from birth, speaking lies. They have venom like the venom of a serpent, like the deaf adder that stops its ear, so that it does not hear the voice of charmers or of the cunning enchanter. O God, break the teeth in their mouths. Tear out the fangs of the young lions, O Lord. Let them vanish like water that runs away. When he aims his arrows, let them be blunted. Let them be like the snail that dissolves into slime, like the stillborn child who never sees the sun. Sooner than your pots can feel the heat of thorns, whether green or ablaze, may he sweep them away. The righteous will rejoice when he sees the vengeance. He will bathe his feet in the blood of the wicked. Mankind will say, surely there is a reward for the righteous. Surely there is a God who judges on earth. It's one of those psalms that requires quite a few readings before the language and the awfulness of what is being expressed sinks in. To pray like this is to have experienced hideous things. One commentary said, this psalm will make no sense to people whose lives have been relatively comfortable, but to those who experience the awfulness of oppressive power and the terror of injustice, this psalm resonates powerfully and deeply. The first 5 verses, I think, invite us to pray for those who are in positions of power, because here you have evil in the corridors of power. And it's very easy to judge, isn't it? We could do better, couldn't we, than Boris or Donald or Vladimir? And yet, could we? I would like to hope and pray that I would manage the power well, that I wouldn't cave or become a source of such awfulness. And yet I have to confess that sometimes my heart is dark. So I think the psalm invites us to pray for those who lead, those who walk the corridors of power, that they would not become like this psalm describes. Then verses 6 to 10, you have really, really uncomfortable language. There's imagery here that I'm not even comfortable reading, let alone praying and writing. And yet what you have is the cry of injustice. What we're given here is what it really feels like to be really squashed. To pray like this, you have to be at the end of your tether. And therefore, I think it invites us to find out and to pray for those who are experiencing injustice in our world today. We may not want to pray like this, but we definitely need to pray for people who feel like this. And then the psalm comes into end with something that I don't think we're thankful for very often, and yet we do need. Surely there is a reward for the righteous. Surely there is a God who judges on the earth. To have a God who judges rightly, who judges well and fairly, is actually incredibly precious, isn't it? That there is a God who will make all things wrong right. And that requires us to approach him with humility, but also with a thankfulness that the injustices and the corruption and the awfulness that this psalm speaks of will be righted by him at the end. So let's pray for the powerful. Let's pray for the oppressors. But let's pray with thanksgiving to our God who judges rightly. Have a read and have a pray.